What a beautiful shot of the Richmond skyline where we are for the third stop of the TYR Pro Swim Series. You're watching Deck Pass Live presented by Xfinity. And we are at the Collegiate Aquatic Center where we've had 3.5 days of wonderful competition. So glad you're able to join us. I'm Jeff Cummings, joined by three-time Olympian Carolyn Joyce. Kara, we're coming to the end of the Richmond stop of the TYR Pro Swim Series. We've had a lot of great swims so far.
I know. I'm sad to see it end. I think this has been one of the most exciting meets all season.
It's getting faster and faster as we get through. I can't wait to see what we got in store in Bloomington and Clovis. It's going to be epic. I think.
Yeah. And even tonight, there's still a lot of good races on the table.
Yeah, we'll talk about those a little bit later. But what we want to really focus on today's show is those swim squads, those fantasy leagues where we got 4 amazing captains to score a lot of points for their teams, because the winning team gets $10,000 going to the charity of your choice. And look at the points there. It's still anybody's game here. We've still got 2 more stops left, but Camille Adams still leading with 261 points, and Connor Jaeger moved up into second. And we got Elizabeth Beisel there in third with 189 points, with Maya DiRado in fourth with 172. As we said, it's still anybody's game. But we've got 2 of these captains with us tonight, and joining me first here is a Olympic gold medalist in the 200 backstroke and 800 freestyle relay, and definitely one of the nicest people ever to grace the USA Swimming Olympic team, Maya DiRado. Maya, it's so good to have you here in Richmond.
Thanks, great to be here.
And also joining us is 2016 Olympic silver medalist in the mile, American record holder. I mean, Connor, you're one of the distance kings. You're with legends, a Michigan man as well. Connor, it's so nice to have you here joining us today.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for having me.
So when you guys saw these swim squad standings, Maya, is this where you thought you might be?
Well, I appreciate your comment that it's still anybody's game, so we're hoping that we have a good back half. It's been a combination of poor roster decisions on my part, and also, people having various plans of what they're going to do throughout their season, but I think we can at least overtake the Beisel bunch.
But Camille Adams, I think, Connor, is the one that seems to be really going strong so far.
Camille's starting to really kind of run away with it. And we will all obviously have great athletes on our teams. The way that her athletes are going to meets, and I mean, Mike Andrews has been a rock for her, I think, the past couple meets. So, yeah, we can still talk smack to her in the group text when we can.
So you guys are both distance swimmers, though, so we're expecting a late push from both of your teams.
I think it works that way.
Exactly. We won't fade down the stretch,
Do you have any pep talks planned for tonight?
No, the team is great. I think I've got a good finals night with Murphy in the backstroke and Simone in the freestyle, and we'll see how they do.
So Maya, what's scarier? What makes you more nervous, being a swim squad captain or the Olympic finals?
I take this very seriously, but an Olympic final still makes me more nervous.
I can imagine so, but I mean, there's a lot of money on the line. Those $10,000. What is the charity that your team's playing for?
Yeah, we are swimming for the USO. I was lucky enough to go on a USO tour in 2016 with the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, and it was a revelation and just really amazing to be with troops on the ground in some pretty crazy places like Afghanistan. And so just want to make sure that they're able to continue their great work of supporting the troops here and abroad.
Absolutely. Connor, how about you? What charity are you guys playing for?
It's a charity called Covenant House, and it's essentially programming to get homeless youth off of the street. And I actually participated in one of their events last month. They do a sleep out for young professionals. You raise money and you participate in an actual sleep out. Slept outside near Hudson Yards, which was pretty fun. A group of 250 people raised like $500,000.
Wow.
So yeah, it's pretty cool, and I hope we can raise another $10,000 for them. I don't know if it's going to work out, but yeah, either way, hopefully bring some awareness.
Yeah, and definitely bring exposure to these causes, I think is even better.
Yeah, exactly. It's brought me closer to that charity and has engaged me in other ways as well, beyond just swim squad. So yeah, overall it's been a really positive experience.
Connor, last time we saw you, you were getting out of the water in Rio, silver medal in tow.
Yeah.
What have you been up to since then?
Yeah, since then, I moved to Hoboken, New Jersey. I'm outside New York City. I got married.
Great.
My wife works in New York. I work in Jersey City. And not a whole lot of swimming as much these days, but working on building into a different type of career. So
Okay.
yeah, I work for a real estate company now.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah,
Real estate is huge out there. I'm sure.
it is. Yeah,
It's a good
It
industry,
is.
yeah.
Yeah, it's been pretty exciting.
And Maya, last time you were in the public eye, you were surprising the world with that 200 backstroke win in Rio. And then, everybody was talking about, please, Maya, come back for one more quad. But you said, no, I'm going to start working in Atlanta as a consultant. But you've moved out to the Bay Area now, I understand.
Yes, so we were in Atlanta for about 8 months, and then my husband is in tech, and so obviously the Bay Area is a big draw. So we moved back out, and now just up the street from Stanford.
Wow.
Which is lovely. It feels like home. And I went into the consulting world for about a year and a half, and I'm now in the social sector working at a private foundation.
Very good. So Connor says he doesn't swim very much. Are you getting back in the pool?
I very rarely swim, but I have transitioned to running, which has been very exciting for me.
Okay.
I heard that can be dangerous for swimmers.
Yes, so far, knock on wood, no ankle injuries or knees or anything, but yeah, we're not the most coordinated group.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Were you a big runner when you were doing dry land in Stanford?
No, never. It's been a long road to be able to run and not want to die.
Yeah. Well, at least you're not,
Slow build.
Atlanta air would be not fun
Oh
to
my
run in. At
gosh.
least Bay Area air is a little bit better. That's really-
Maybe we have a triathlon in your future, Maya. What do you think?
Perhaps.
Okay.
I could still float a little swim if required. We do the Trans Tahoe Relay every summer, which is just an amazing event outdoors in the gorgeous Tahoe sunshine, but haven't gotten on that bike yet, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's a big transition. So, Connor, what do you do to kind of stay fit if you're not
Yeah.
doing any swimming?
It's funny, I was talking to Cody Miller like an hour ago. I was exercising 20 hours a week. Now I'm exercising like 5 hours a week, and it's good if I'm getting 5. I'm mostly just training by myself. I'm lifting, I'm doing a little bit of cardio. Really tone down the cardio compared to pre-Rio type of exercise. Yeah.
Yeah, it can't be easy to just stop doing that altogether. You kind of at least have something to kind of keep that engine going.
Unfortunately, it's easier than you would hope. It was not that hard to do nothing for about 5
Yeah.
months.
I think you guys
after the
earned it.
Olympics.
Yeah, you guys train in the middle distance lanes.
Yeah.
I'm sure you were just begging for that time to not do
Yeah.
anything.
I'm hoping to ride that aerobic base for a long time.
Next
I
couple
don't need
years.
to do aerobic for a decade or so. I could come back to it later.
Yeah. So let's go back to talking about swim squads. You were talking about how this is going to be a big night for you. You've got actually, I think, 4 swimmers
Yeah.
going up tonight. We got a little graphic to show everybody who's going to be swimming for you. You've got Simone Manuel doing the 100 free, Ryan Murphy in the 200 back, Chase Cales in 200 IM, Hannah Moore, who's the top seed in the 1500. These are going to be some big points for you potentially.
This might be your
I
biggest
am
night.
hoping. Yeah, not only are we back having the season, but I think we're back having the meet. So got some big studs tonight. I'm excited to cheer them on.
Yeah, that's going to be really cool.
And then Connor, you got all your eggs in the Katie Miley 50 breaststroke basket tonight.
I know. Andrew Wilson threw down in that 2 IM this morning, dropped a bunch of time. I think he's coming back B final, so maybe no points there for me in that. But
He did scratch that race.
Oh, he scratched. Well, then there we go.
It really is all on Katie
It
Miley.
really is. Okay.
I think she needs a pep talk.
That's right. Yeah, she's going to do great. I mean, she's obviously swimming really well, and everyone's performed super well up until this point. Annie Laser is on fire.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
She can't come to one of these meets without winning 2 events, so that's been awesome. And Dressel is on point this meet. The last stop, he had gotten B final in the 100 fly. I'm like, no.
Jaeger was very displeased in our group chat.
Yeah.
Do you reach out to them during the meets?
No.
Kind of let them do their thing?
Well, actually, I texted Dressel after his 2 free at this meet because I was stoked to see that. That's so impressive to have that range, 21.6 or whatever he went, and 147.3. Yeah, the guy that goes 17.6 just like obliterated my best 200 free long course time. Like, why can he do both?
Yeah. Well, as you guys may know, this is the 2008 Olympic Trials pool. We were talking with Matt Grievers yesterday about how the memories come flooding back. When you guys come to the meets like this, do the memories come flooding back of your time at the Olympics in Rio as even?
Yeah, of course. I mean, just walking into the smell of an indoor pool and getting that rush of chlorine brings back lots of good memories. And it's really just special to be able to sit and see are friends from, Stanford for me and the national team, and it's really become a family after my, 16 years in the sport, and it's just lovely to be back with everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. How about you, Connor?
Seeing John Urbanchek for the first time in 2 years. Hey, buddy, what? Hey, you look all right,
I don't think that guy has aged in like the last 20 years.
No, it had. The clock just stopped for him, and everyone else is continuing on. It's awesome. Yeah, you see so many people that it's great to really catch up.
Yeah, and you must have been really excited a couple weeks ago seeing Felix Auerbach win that 1650 at NCAA, is carrying on that tradition.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was really excited about that. He got the pool record, which I had, so that was kind of cool. No, I'm pumped. And like, he was having a challenging meet, and to wrap it up with that and a really, really solid swim. Phenomenal swim.
Absolutely.
Yeah, proud of him.
Yeah. Well, it's great to see you guys again, not just to talk about swim squads, just to have you on deck wandering around the pool. I think it's just it's really fun to just kind of catch up with you guys.
Thanks. It's been great.
Yeah, so
thanks for having us.
Good luck with your swim squads tonight and throughout the rest of these 2 meets.
Cool. Thank you.
So we were talking about all the athletes that are going to be on these swim squads tonight. Let's look at the schedule we have lined up. We got that 1500 freestyle, the 200 IM, the 200 backstroke, 50 breaststroke, and we're going to wrap it up. I think this is a good way to wrap it up with the 100 freestyle. So, Carolyn, what race are you looking forward to tonight?
Jeff, that men's 200 IM, I think, is everything I've been waiting for this whole season. Getting Michael Andrew, who is stellar in all of the 50s of each stroke, next to Chase Kalish, the 200 IM, king for us right now. And then Caleb Dressel, they have that little rivalry, the sprint rivalry going on. So that race I am very excited about tonight.
I'm excited too, because as you remember, a year ago, Caleb Dressel broke the American record at the 200-yard IM.
He's a good IMer.
He's a good IMer. He doesn't. I mean, I remember him saying, you get me on my back and I don't know what I'm doing. So backstroke is going to be a little tough for him. But the other 3 strokes, he's phenomenal. And I think Chase knows that these 2 guys are going to be really coming after him in that freestyle. So it's going to be fun to see.
It's going to be one to watch tonight.
The strategy is going to be amazing to watch.
Yeah, and then the women's 100 freestyle.
I'm really excited about that. As we talked about, Simone's coming off a little bit of illness, but she put up a good time tonight. Margot Gear continues to swim really well.
Absolutely.
Olivia Smoliga coming off that great double last night.
Yeah.
This is going to be amazing.
It's going to be a great heat. And you actually had a chance to catch up with Olivia earlier today.
Yeah. Let's see how that turned out. All right, so Olivia, great double last night, 50 free, 100 back.
Thank you.
Talk us about the process of recovering after that 50 free and getting ready for your 100 back. What did you do in those 14 minutes?
We all train for it. When we do like lactate, sets off the blocks on a Saturday or whatever, it's back-to-back efforts. So it's not that concerned me at all, not to sound like high about it or anything like that, but I don't know. I train for it. We all train this way, and so in the middle of it, I was laughing with Natalie Hines, my teammate. I was just like, not even tired. Taking those deep breaths and just trying to tell yourself that it's not affecting you. And thankfully, it was the 50 before the 100, so it was a nice little warm-up, essentially. But yeah, like I said, training for it all year long, so it should be easy to do, or manageable to do at least.
Right. And it's not something new for you. Last year, you remember you did the shootouts in the 50 back, and your third 50 back, you set the American record.
Right, I know. Coleman, I had done an interview with Swim Swim after yesterday. He was like, looks like you need to do, warm up before you swim faster. And I was like, okay, I hope that's not the case. But it does definitely give me confidence going into meets that have prelims, semis, and finals, knowing that I could go back to back to back and swim fast with all 3 of those. So yeah, definitely, like I said, I think the training kind of shows throughout the shootouts and meets like these where I have doubles.
And so, obviously, tonight you've got a big double. You got the 200 back and then the 100 free. It's a little bit more time in between those, but still, this is actually probably a tougher double for you.
It is, but I have to say I did scratch the 200 backstroke.
Oh, good for
I
you.
know. Sorry, sorry, you guys.
No, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, I know. I really want to focus on my sprint freestyle, see what I can do, try to get a best in-season time a little bit, and yeah, the 200 back just makes me feel really nauseous. So it's not that I can't do it. I'm choosing not to today.
And, we're 15 months until Olympic trials, so you're probably trying to figure out all these events you've got lined up for Omaha.
Exactly, right. I was thinking about that this morning, actually, what my lineup would look like in the future. Of course, I take it meet by meet, week by week, practice by practice, but it is definitely in the back of my mind what I could be successful in come trials in 2020. The 200 back will hopefully come together by then, but for now, I'm sprint focused and seeing where that will take me.
Well, it's taking you pretty far so far, Olivia.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. Good luck in your 100 free tonight.
Thank you, Jeff. Thanks, guys. Yeah.
I have really enjoyed watching her really come into her own.
Yep.
I think in the last, year and a half as a pro, she's getting faster and faster, almost learning more about her own races as she goes.
Right, and I think when you're a professional swimmer, you almost have to learn to more and more take your own race strategy, your own race preparation into your own hands, because sometimes, especially during the college season, their coaches, Jack Bowley, Harvey Humphreys, they haven't been coming to these meets, so they're kind of on their own, so they have to deal with it on their own and know how to get those race preparations done between races, because it can be really tough in 15 minutes. Even if you're kind of thinking in the back of your mind this may not go very well, at least you got to do the best you can to set yourself up to do well, and that's what Olivia and people like Caleb are doing really well.
And I think also for Olivia, coming off the 8 gold medals in December from World Championships, it can be hard to keep that up, but I feel like she's just really kept her momentum going, so I'm looking forward to seeing her at World Championships this summer.
She's going to be on fire, I think, if she can keep this momentum going. We got a lot of people who have been on fire. I mean, we mentioned Caleb Dressel a lot, Simone Manuel still looking good, Ryan Murphy looking great. Katie Ledecky is always looking good after a great competition training camp in altitude at Colorado Springs. Chase Kalish is going to be looking good to repeat his double IM victories at World Championships. It's just going to be so much fun in this lead up, and we got all these guys racing tonight, including Katie Ledecky, but she's not in the 1500 freestyle as you may think. She's actually going to be in the final of the 100 freestyle. She will be swimming the 1500 at Worlds, but you just don't want to do the mile all the time if you really don't have to. And I think Katie feels pretty confident in the way her mile training has been going, but she wants to try to work on her speed. And, as you remember, she was in that 400 free relay final in Rio.
Absolutely.
So
she can flex that range from the 100.
Yes. So we definitely want to be watching that tonight. You want to check out the commentary from Ted Robinson and Rowdy Gaines tonight beginning at 6 p.m. And then when that's all over, head to usaswimming.org for Deck Pass Live presented by Xfinity. Carolyn and I are going to be recapping some of the highlights from tonight. We're also going to have Olympic champion Katie Miley. She's going to be here to talk about not just her swimming, but she's a very, very hardworking student at Columbia Law School.
She might be one of the busiest people on the pool deck here.
I think so. So I can't wait. And I think I said Columbia. She's actually at Georgetown. But she's going to be probably thinking about the term papers that she has to deal with while she's talking to us.
Yeah, she's got the pressure from the Jaeger squad, all those eggs in the basket for her 50 breast, her law school term papers. But if anybody can handle it, it's Katie Miley.
Katie can do that. So you definitely want to hear us talking to her tonight. Again, Deck Pass Live presented by Xfinity is going to be at usaswimming.org beginning at 7:30 tonight. We can't wait to bring it to you. Thanks, everybody, for watching, and we'll see you tonight.
Thank you.